Every time I head out of Jedi Survivor after another challenge Hazard, I discover my exit is a revolving door that plops me right back into the game. There's always more interesting and fun ways to play the game, especially a way as heavily requested as this one. I've played Survivor so many times, but never with the game-breaking Purity perk activated. For those that don't know, it makes nearly every enemy, including bosses, die in one hit, up to 3 hits for the real tanky ones, and for Cal to be killed as well in 1 or 2 hits. Healing won't mean much in a run like this, but I'll make sure it means nothing by taking it away as requested, and confining myself to only using single blade stance like most of the Jedi we're used to seeing. Only healing that comes from hitting enemies that killed you previously is allowed, because that's how the game works. Grandmaster difficulty on, and warrior perk as well for stronger enemies throughout. I was supposed to also have health and force essences off limits, but I accidentally screwed up while distracted by watching the great show Game Changer, and I picked up the wrong essence twice over, thinking they were perks and skill improvements, not noticing the increased health till after the challenge while looking over the footage. Whoops! Only 2 health essences were gained, and no other health or force improvements occur for minimum accidental improvement. Everything else is on the table for use, so we can really see how much of a glass cannon a more true-to-film Jedi Cal Kestis can be. The one thing they don't tell you about Purity is how surprised you'll be when you take that first swing against a normally tanky foe and watch them topple over. Who knew these little light sticks could be so dangerous? Cutting down my enemies with such ease really gives a Jedi a lot of confidence. An ego that's immediately knocked down to size when Bode lends a hand and blows up a probe droid in my face, killing me. I have to remind myself he's useful to have around so the enemies are attacking someone other than me, because if I don't, I'd be shooting him right now. Maybe later. While the Purity perk makes it so anyone can kill me, it's more like Ratatouille's not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. Not everyone is going to be a great threat, but anyone has the power to. Most aren't going to get a chance as every enemy's cut down without breaking a sweat. I'm quickly seeing that Purity makes the game dangerous, not challenging. It's why I always avoided using it in my other challenges with how much easier it can make everything. Sure, I can die with next to no warning, and I definitely do quite a bit, as can be expected. But when you make a combat system that revolves around timing and punishing the player for attacking when they shouldn't, that doesn't work when the enemy's dead before they can ever punish me for any mistake I make. I don't need to know moves or timing when I can one-shot nearly everything. Purity turns Survivor into a proper power fantasy. Unless I'm extra foolish about it, that is. Nothing like wiping out an entire watchtower full of enemies, carefully blocking and dodging all the threats only to get one shot right after when I push the wrong super battle droid. Or when I easily wipe out the Imperials on Jedha, only to drop a held rocket at my feet, blowing myself up. The beauty of Purity. Plus, it does make every fight with droidicas terrifying, and so much harder, something that feels very realistic for Jedi to struggle with. And I shall never, ever complain about making super light work of the double Rancor or the double Toad fight, having absolutely zero trouble in either one. I actually began this challenge with the goal of 100%ing this run, or, well, 95%ing since I can't do 4 stairs that change my stance, or, even though I screwed it up, I didn't know that until an hour ago after all, grab essence upgrades. But very late game, I decided why the hey am I seeking 100%? I already have 100% of this game after all, and my old completionist habits were rearing up, as going around collecting a bunch of collectibles like seed pods, databanks, and rocks across the planets is far more tedium than any actual challenge. I do in fact value the ticking of my life's clock, even if some of my challenges make it seem otherwise. I'm experienced enough to know what's worth doing and what's worth ignoring, so I make sure to travel to and fro to fight every single boss and major battle there is to be found. With boss fights, the main trouble is actually getting there, as just one slice and no more boss. Cal is the boss fight now for them, whether it be Dagon, Toad, Rancor, or Ravis. Revenge of the Kestis is here. Ravis's regeneration means nothing if he gets destroyed in a single hit after all. Jedi don't need plot armor when they have one of the strongest weapons ever, and that's without even mentioning the Force. No wonder winning against them is often such a numbers game. Like in the absolute worst battle of the challenge, the fight exactly where I expected to find the most pain before I even clicked new game. On the Shattered Moon, hidden behind some deadly steam vents, sits this Force Tear. A Force Tear that holds 150 B1 battle droids, one of the weakest enemies in the game, easily destroyable with a good force push or a single slice, 2 if they block. But all that means is purity doesn't mean anything to them, cause they're always easy to dismantle. But now I'm also extremely vulnerable. I managed it much sooner than I expected in my 100% no damage run, but I had the undeniably huge benefit of the double-bladed saber's strong deflection there. No such advantage here, as the single blade isn't reliable in blocking, and I'm not doing the best at deflecting shots back either way. These droids should one-shot me if I hadn't screwed up with the upgrades, but 2 shots are basically guaranteed anyway with how many enemies there are. I know from letting them pile in that the arena caps out at 30 enemies at one time, and one strong howling push will wipe them all out, 2 if necessary, but the moment the 50 destroyed mark hits, here comes the blaster units. That makes it hard enough, but they're also chucking grenades. And at about 80 destroyed, we have a bunch of suicide bombers sprinting right at me, which is almost always a fatal sight. I have 1 force slow use per attempt, and it's my only chance at surviving the initial bombing because if I time it right, the blast won't affect me. But timing it right with this many threats coming at me at once is more a matter of luck than will or skill. And even if I do survive, a second wave either gets me, or the mini blaster bolts do the job. I arrived at the Shattered Moon with 40 total deaths, and I didn't leave this area till I hit exactly 100 deaths total within an hour spent in that mechanical hell. I can't improve my block, because its improvement is locked behind improving my health, and I can't improve my force slow to last longer, because that's locked behind improving my force meter, so I'm gonna have to rely on math and the Force being with me. Wipe out the initial 15. Slice up 4 more droids, and then once I'm at 19 broken, I can sprint around, careful to avoid the drop pods so I don't get stuck, and I easily keep out of reach of the droids' melee attacks until I gather the full 30 droids. Then it's time to howling push them all into a scrap pile. 49 destroyed means no blaster units yet, so I can gather another 30 safely, and then destroy them all at once too. Then I have to deflect back the shots I can, and get lucky by pushing the grenade lovers before they can even get close, allowing them to blow themselves up, and instead save my force slow for the moment my block is first broken by the overwhelming firepower right after. That gives me my chance to thin out the gun units, and following that up with more luck, running, and a few deflections means no more blasters, making it easy work to finish the job with just one last push. And that final try was without damage, so I can feel content now knowing I would have succeeded even if I didn't have the health improvements. When I go in search of the Electro Dart upgrade on Kobo, I learn a few things. 1. As much as I hate Viper probes for obvious reasons, they have an unexpected massive weakness of water, which sucks for them, because they sure do seem to be attracted to it. And 2. When you suffer so many deaths in pursuit of 100%ing this area, maybe, just maybe, make sure you learn how to force lift first so you can actually collect the rock hidden here, making it all worthwhile. That would really help. The nice thing about having nothing available to spend my skill points on is the moment I unlock the lift and slam skills, I can fully upgrade them and majorly raise my odds of success. Note to self though, try to let the bosses have a fighting chance before you cut them down. It's the polite thing to do. Unless those bosses are the trio of beasts in this Force Tear, maybe my most hated fight from my 100% run. It hurts to die 4 times here, the highest of any boss fight, though it's really easy to be the highest when every other boss never got to do anything before they died. At least I had the decency to break Ravis's block for old time's sake before putting him down. And I finally remembered by Ravis the Fortitude perk to increase my damage and the enemies even more, ensuring I can more likely be one-shot. However, this trio of hate and malice deserve no decency whatsoever. After 100%ing the Shattered Moon and nearly 100%ing Coruscant, minus the essences I can't pick up, I returned to Koboh for quite a bit more exploration and completionism behavior. It would mostly fly by, and with Purity making every fight over so quickly, without any flow of combat, my interest was admittedly waning. Purity is a very cool concept that's great for variety, but it does get old rather fast, I'm finding. But when memories of Dagon only depict his hair threatening and murdering a piece of armor, perhaps I have bigger things to worry about. Especially since a little earlier, I saw the insides of 2 Jawas, and while I always imagined plenty of things under those concealing robes, who could have guessed it would be a whole lot of nothing? Extra disturbing. Killing 2 bosses at once? I feel like when Megamind beat Metro Man, and now has ennui at winning. Even the universe is trying to make it harder on me by forcing my force powers off, surprising me when I try and force slam Dagon's duplicates and leading to Dagon's first and only victory. Not quite what I was looking for, but I appreciate the old college try, universe. Well, when you need a break from Purity Perk, the universe does you another solid and murders those close to you, knocks you out, and forces you to play a character that can't have perks, effectively shutting Purity off for Seer's section. The only thing is, Seer's incredibly powerful and might as well have Purity, but I'm reckless, without healing still, and just letting loose on the Imperials ransacking our home, so I'm sure to fall. If Purity had been on, Vader would have taken his place as one of the few bosses to actually kill me this challenge. But without it, he's just not going to get another try. Outside of cutscenes, that is. It's here after Seer's death, while exploring the endless stretches of desert and more desert that is Jedha, that I finally come to the conclusion that 100%ing is not worthwhile, but killing every single bounty hunter sure is. And here's where the battle really changes up on me, giving me what I asked for, but not what I expected or like. Once again, like in Megamind when he creates Titan, but it backfires. Maybe my life is just Megamind. That's not so bad. Anyway, the bounty hunter army that opposes me on Jedha has a secret weapon. While most can be one-shot like normal, if I can get close to them that is, there are a few, the yellow jetpack hunters, that completely ignore Purity. I thought it was a glitch at first, but resetting the game or any other solution I can think of doesn't fix it. I can easily be one-shot by them, but they take multiple combos to bring down, effectively meaning these bounty hunters have way better resilience than one of the strongest Jedi of old, multiple Rancors, giant toads, an alien that is literally all about regenerating from damage, an AT-ST, and many more. It is quite impressive, and would cause me so much more trouble if they didn't often start the fight by floating harmlessly up next to me, making it real simple to combo them. Still, the rest of the hunters who are very one-shottable give me even more trouble, shooting me off the zip lines and not letting me a chance to fight unless I avoid them by going under the bridge or using force lift to get a chance to fight. Slice off the head of the operation though, and I'll still be gunned down by those durable flyers, but without their head, the rest of them clear out. Minus this one hunter who was meant to be executed as a deserter, but since no one is around to do it, as they all deserted him, I guess he decided he might as well stage a heart attack and let it happen anyway. Odd choice. After cutting my way through the rest of the bosses and hunters with minimum trouble, now I only have 2 major troubles that pop up. Purge commanders that spawn directly in front of me and immediately gun me down, and then when I come prepared by force slowing the moment they appear, one rolls out of the slow somehow, stunning and killing me anyway. If I wasn't so shocked, literally and figuratively, I'd probably be livid with rage. The other obstacle is more fun. Cage. When this bounty hunter betrays me, I hope for quite a fight, and she gives it to me, easily blocking my attacks and not letting me land the fatal blow. Something she has no problem landing on me. I am impressed, but I do feel it is quite evil on the second attempt when she goes from perfectly relaxed and normal, convincing me I have to talk to her again so I can start the fight, and then immediately shooting me at point blank. Well played. Almost as well played as my very stupid win, where I just aerial attack her as I leap off my flying ride, ending the fight before I could begin. That made me laugh, and isn't that what counts at the end of the day? All but one worthy fight left. Bode. But come on, not really worthy. It's Bode, man of many weaknesses. And even though he has 3 phases, meaning he can tank more than 1 hit, that's only a tiny delay before he's easily brought down as well. He was a much bigger threat to me as my ally than as my enemy. Huzzah! I'm still reeling at discovering I screwed up the no upgrades aspect of this challenge, but the rest of the challenge was pretty straightforward, minus the Seer and Ninth Sister challenge breaks. 266 deaths over 22 hours, 15 minutes certainly means it still has a challenging element to it, but the speed of the fights did take away most of the value of the game. Still, I'm glad to have finally experienced what Purity has to offer. Thank ye very much for the suggestions, for watching, and I hope ye enjoyed sharing this experience with me. And I want to leave you with a question. Who is your favorite Star Wars character? Mine is Cal Kestis himself, though I do have a deep love for Cassian Andor, Obi-Wan, Leia, and Kanan Jarrus to name a few. Let me know yours. I'll see you later, friends. May the Force be with you.